So I want to talk about internet gurus and people selling you stuff online that you probably don't need, promising you that you're going to level up into a new dimension of your reality if you just buy my course and take my course and you'll level up too and you'll become this rich and famous person like me and everything's going to be great. You'll make money online, you'll grow a following. All you got to do is one, two, three. You know, I've never bought any of these courses ever in my life. I never participated in any self-development course. I've been to a couple, little, you could call them retreats or whatever, and I really found no value at that at all. But I think that the majority of these online internet gurus that are telling you it's so easy, you just have to be a content creator, you just have to put yourself out online, you just have to write and make videos and do whatever it is. They're right in the sense that yes, those are the actual actions that you have to take in order to grow online. I mean, they're totally right about that. It's also not really rocket science. I mean, all you have to do is look at someone's channel, their journey, transcribe each video and make that same video and just talk about yourself. There you go, that's all you do. But ultimately what I want to talk about is the unique perspective of how your journey is not really quantifiable like that, right? You can't really tell someone how to grow if you just grew to 1 million followers or 500,000 or 250 or 100,000 or whatever it is. You can't really tell people how you grew because all you can really show is that what actually happened to you in your account. You can't tell them explicitly, here's how you replicate, just do this, this, and this. Now, like I said, you can in the general sense, but I think that a lot of people who sell stuff online, they try to essentially use their growth as a mechanism to sell the authority in the space that yes, you can because here's what I did. I'll tell you one thing, one of my greatest videos I ever made here, or I guess I'll say it's just a video I made here back in this garage that I kind of liked. I was like, okay, I don't know if I should post it, whatever. Turned out to be our greatest video. It has 30,000 views, might even reach 100,000 by the end of the year. I mean, who knows how YouTube really works. And that's kind of what I mean, is that the video that I thought wasn't my best, I wasn't even going to post it, ended up becoming the most popular and viral on this channel, at least viral relative to the typical numbers that we'll get. And I think that's one clue as to how the reality of becoming a creator online works, is that you don't really know what's going to blow up. I mean, unless you're putting a lot of research and time, you got people working on these things and deconstructing every 5 seconds of your video and which people tune off and not. I think that ultimately as it comes down to being a creator online, there's so many unpredictable qualities about it. And I think that the number one thing is that most people chase the wrong thing, right? All these internet gurus and internet people selling you stuff online, courses, how to be just like me and replicate my process. That's what I want to talk about. Because they try to make it seem like you just got to do these simple things and you'll get the result. But I think that the self-development space is so obsessed with results that they've almost lost purpose of what actually the world that we're stepping into and how it's wildly different almost every month. Every month something's changing about the internet landscape, especially if you're paying attention to technology, that it's not enough just to become a writer and start stuff online and make some videos and you're going to blow up. It's not enough. You won't really be anything in the world because AI essentially is going to take over all of that. And to be honest with you, I'm talking with AI a lot more than I'm talking to real people online. And that's kind of hilarious how that works, as how I'll get more quality information from some random AI than I will from an actual person. And I think that trend will continue on, is that we're going to endlessly go in this direction of personalization in all things. And so if you just become a creator online and you think that that's how you're going to escape the matrix, it's not really going to work out that way. And I think that what I want to do is help relieve some of the pressure of feeling like you need to be this big grandiose thing and that's the only way that you're going to live your optimized life. When I started my self-development journey when I don't know where I would put the needle where I actually started. I mean, let's say 15 years old, I started the serious self-development journey. So it's been about 15 years now. Throughout all of that, I never bought a course. I never bought anything that promised me some new result. And it's probably a good thing that I didn't, because I don't think it would have really got me anywhere at all. Now, I bought different courses on how to level up in other areas, such as my technical skills, whether it's a programming course or it's learning Photoshop or some design program. I think that the self-development world has kind of lost sight of actually building skills And it's become more about how can you just make money online, right? How can you build a following, start selling them things, and then make a course and then teach other people how to also build online and grow their following, and they can sell the course back to everyone else. That's what it's become. It's just become a big money grab for me. And I hope that in the future, this channel never becomes something like that. I'm the one kind of steering the ship here at this point, and I'm not really aligned with that at all. And so I just want to talk a little bit about what I'm sort of seeing in the internet age and all these gurus and selling you stuff online, because to me, I just don't think that you actually need it. And I think that at the root of it, it's actually pretty inauthentic, actually, because they surely must know, or maybe it's unknowingly, maybe it's unconscious, I'm not sure. But they have to know that they're selling you something that ultimately most people are never going to achieve, because you can't quantify how your growth actually happened. You can't completely replicate growth or virality or any of these type of things. Sure, there's probably a science to it. There's probably someone smart figured it out. But you as a person, you growing, you just talking on camera, writing, getting people to be interested in you. For every 1,000 people that do that, maybe there's only 5 people that actually become successful with it. And the other 995 or 99%, whatever the number is, are just going to be sitting there watching the videos, dreaming about that one day that I'm going to do that, but not taking action. And I think these self-development gurus try to tap into that market and say, well, you need to start taking action because it's going to be this great thing, and you just need one step, you need one little piece of information that only I can tell you. When really you open up their course, it's the most generic information ever. You could have Googled it or asked ChatGPT to give you one for free, and that'd probably be better information, and you didn't have to pay anything. So I think that in this internet age where everyone wants to become an influencer online, they want to talk about whatever they want to talk about and make money just for showing their face around and kind of making casual appearances here and there and get brand deals. I think that ultimately what it's doing is it's kind of painting this skew of reality of that's what you're supposed to be. That's what's expected of you. You're not a valuable human being unless you're, somehow well known online. In a way, we have become our digitized versions of ourselves. And so when people see me or I see you, I'm kind of seeing you plus, the representation of what I think you are online, and that determines how I'm going to interact with you. It's something like that. And I think that as we get farther and farther away from the general basis of humanity, we're going to keep on looking at people more and more as if their value is what they can contribute on the digital space. And it's not technically bad. It's now easier than ever to create a brand online. It's easier than ever to make stuff online, and it's hard to get people interested, but it's easy to kind of make yourself be a replication of yourself online and think you are that thing. And just if you grow that account, if you grow those followings, if you get the little invisible tokens and the likes, that it's somehow building up your actual reality, when in fact I see that most people who are just solely focused on metrics and numbers, all they are is just perpetually depressed in a way that their numbers, number didn't go up. And I think that as we go on forward here in this life, there's going to be more social medias, there's going to be more ways to capture your audience and get them in certain sections and deriving value from different communities and building up your social profiles. And I think a lot of people are actually going to be left out of that entire process because that was just never for them, right? I remember being 15, 16 and wanting to make videos, and I made a few videos when I was like 17, 18, and skate videos, whatever it is, and it was cool, like a feeling to just kind of put yourself online and see what you can, at least see what you're made of and see what other people think about it. Never got any tracks, never did anything, but I think that the majority of people have dreams of this, but they may actually never do it because maybe it's just not for them. And I do think that, there's probably something that you can do. There's, if you don't want to show your face, you can start a radio show. If you're not good at, coding, you're really good at design. There's things for you to do. But I kind of want to talk about more about how the self-development space and really internet culture as a whole has sort of turned it into something where it's just about the money. The money is the actual end quantifier of what you have been kind of labeled as, if you're successful or not. How much money do you have? How many brand deals? How many views are coming in? Determines your worth. And I think that that part of it is what the whole purpose of self-development for me was all about for a while, until I learned that there's a much deeper internal spiritual experience about life and reality that money can't really help you with at all. You know, money can't help you learn how to truly be peaceful with your entire surroundings as it is, and to actually have that level of peace transcend into nearly every fabric of your being, so that it's actually a genuine and real thing and not just some mirage or coding in a level of anxiety or something. To truly feel peaceful about life and reality the way it is, even if you go to work, even if you have a 9 to 5, even if you're in a shitty situation and life isn't quite right, if you got all these problems still, but you still feel peaceful about the problems and you keep working through it, that's the ultimate accomplishment. The ultimate accomplishment of reality, at least the new reality that we're trying to build and kind of design more of, is that the reality is all about what you can step into, what you can create, how you can build your own internal form and optimize your self-perception so that you are able to be a much bigger person internally. And then maybe, you know, if things of the material or external realm want to come to you, I mean, that's fine. More money, whatever, more cars, more whatever, it's totally fine. It's just not the priority. And I don't really see a whole lot of spiritual people talking about it as clear as that. I don't really see a lot of self-development people talking about the spiritual sense at all. And so I'd like to tie those two together. And I think that as we go in this world, we're going to be seeing more people who are kind of stepping out and talking about how those things are both kind of the same thing. Because like I said, you do really find spiritual people or the super new age that talk about crystals and veganism and, you know, energy and love and light, whatever. And then you got self-development people who are just focused on optimizing business and views and metrics and growing online. I made whatever $1 million last year, and, you know, I'm going to reach this new milestone next year. We have to create this new balance where we kind of look at everything from a standpoint of how it all stems back to you as a person. How are you growing? How can we quantify the growth of you? And how do we even measure something like that? I mean, I don't even know how to measure that, because there's times when I thought that I was really growing and maybe I was descending a bit, but I felt like I was growing, and then maybe a year later I felt like, oh, I actually was growing. And so oftentimes the process of growth itself kind of seems like a retraction in many ways, like you're going down in a downtrend, but you're still painting forward, right? And so it's kind of funny how even growing doesn't feel like growing, because you're just sort of living life and going through the changes and just learn how to navigate life. And a lot of times you fail, you fuck up, you have problems, get into situations, but there has to be this new mentality that's installed into our consciousness that's all about seeing that as an element of the growth, right? Whenever you go on a mission and you fail the mission once, you can always reset the game and go and try again. I mean, that's basically how life is working at this time. You're endlessly given new opportunities to grow nearly every second. It's all just how you want to point your screen and look at the objects in your life and the events and kind of click certain objects around and see like, all right, here's my mission. All right, let's go and try this. And did I fail or win or whatever? But it's all about learning how to gamify your life, gamify your reality, make the game as interesting as possible. And money, objects, materialism, and all these things are just a tertiary effect that has very little interest to me as a person. You know, I could make $1 million. It doesn't really change me. I mean, 5 years ago would have changed me a lot probably, but I've gone through many different levels of growth since then, to where now it would pretty much render null for me as a valuable experience. It would just allow me to work less. But ironically, I'd probably find myself working more, because the more I have, the more I want to contribute and make more for. And so I think that this world that we're going through right now of ongoing change, AI, I mean, I'm coding like like a freaking psycho these days in terms of how I'm able to commit and create new projects and ship things. It's absolutely insane. So I think that the more we have this ability to have more and more information at our fingertips, we're also going to be learning how to hold more information on a mental, spiritual level. And so that's really all I want to say, is that self-development people, they're cool, they're selling you stuff, it's great, buy it, you know, it'll probably help you. But don't fall into the dream that you have to just become a content creator and make money online. And if you're not doing that, you're somehow a failure, because there's totally nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5 or just kind of chilling or just still figuring life out and deciding what you even want to do in the first place. Because I really didn't figure this stuff out till I was like 27. I'm 29 now, and like I said, it took me 10, 15 years of just perpetual self-growth to kind of come to this position where I'm actually solid and clear on what I want in my life. You know, I'm a late bloomer in that sense, and actually I'd consider myself really late, because usually a lot of people figure that out at 25, and it was a few years later for me. So if you're a late bloomer, if you're just figuring your life out, if you're wanting to escape the matrix, the system, and you're just looking at life like I deserve more, take a little time with that, and don't really try to make it be something like you got to rush in to buy something from someone that's promising you something, because it probably won't be real. And ultimately, if you learn how to figure out within you why there's a rush to become something, if you just figure that part out, it'll make the rest of your life a whole lot easier, really.